Welcome to Jacksonville Metal Militia podcast. I am Steve Van Order, aka Vantera. With me is David Martinez, aka Martalica, and we got Don Juan Jose Prunet, aka Killer Kowalski. Nah, I'm just kidding. All right.
Something behind that?
What's that?
Something behind that?
Oh no, nothing at all. He called me Bartholomew, and I don't know why he's been calling me Bartholomew for years.
So years ago, we were talking about. I think our other friend Omar was saying something about middle names, and my middle name happens to be Lewis, and I don't know what happened that Steve said his middle name, and it's like he just looks like a Bartholomew. So for the last 10, maybe 12 years, I've been calling him Stephen Bartholomew Van Order. I want to add like the third to there because it sounds like turd. But we'll leave that.
If you wrote me a damn letter of recommendation and it had Stephen Bartholomew, then I'm like, bro, you have to take this back and readjust it. I thought that was your middle name.
Makes me wish I knew a couple of judges we could legally change his name without his permission.
That was great. But, so I guess we can start with the first episode. Yeah. Congratulations to those. Yeah. There's more to come. Let's talk about, so what got us in the middle? Who wants to go first? David, you want to go? You want me to lead it off, or you want to do it? Or you want to play it?
Go ahead and lead it off.
All right. So, growing up, I was raised on a nice little dose of Ted Nugent, and I found
Lucky you.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin. And while I was sitting at my house on Brick Hill Road, I found a cassette tape, and I was probably like 5 or 6 back in 1985. I found an all black cassette tape with some yellow writing and a man on it doing like his arm like this or whatever. And it said Black Sabbath Volume 4. So I put that in there, and it blew me away. So I think it had Supernaut and on that, so raised on a lot of music like that, man. And then I grew into, I had to find my own way, listen to GNR and Appetite Drop. It was a game changer for me at least, And then one day, 1992, we're sitting at the house with Mike Knight, and we're watching Countdown to the Ball, and which is about from 11 till midnight, and we're hoping, man, I really hope we can see Megadeth tonight, man. Can we get Hunger 18? Because that was we really loved, at the time, and Slayer, And it was like, so it comes on, and next we're there talking to some dude with a shaved head and a tattoo on it, and a dude with long curly brown hair and a pink goatee. And he's like, "Oh, introduce the song we're going to hear, blah, blah." And like, next song you're going to hear is Walk off our new album, Vulgar Display of Power. And I'm like, oh. And they said, this is Pantera. I'm like, well, okay. And we had seen Pantera before, but it didn't get a whole lot of play back then that I can ever remember. It never got a lot of play, and it didn't look like that either. It was like Phil had the longer hair, and man, when Walk came on, I'm going to tell you, we both sat back, our eyes were like that fucking big, And
So you hadn't heard Cowboys yet?
No, I heard Cowboys, but it wasn't like it got so little play on Headbangers Ball that it was more Slayer than I can remember. Death.
Yeah.
I can even remember Alice in Chains was on it. But I don't ever remember, like Metallica, definitely a lot of Metallica.
Yeah, probably one.
Yeah, one was on it, yeah, for sure. I was rocking that Just Throw back in the day, for sure.
Right.
And but when that came on, I was like, it blew us away because it was nothing that was being played at all back in '92. I mean, nothing sounded like Vulgar Display of Power. Because I remember everything back then was like, if you read Hit Parader or Guitar Magazine or anything like that, it was who wanted to be the fastest band. It was like Megadeth was they wanted to be the fastest. They wanted to be. I remember reading like Mustaine wanted to be faster than Metallica.
That was a huge thing.
Yeah, that was a big thing. And you hear Vulgar, and that was by far polar opposite of everything. You know,
Mm-hmm.
slow, methodic. Just power groove, and it sold me right then and there. And I think I went out and bought that album the very next day, and I was just hooked on Pantera from
Mm-hmm.
92 up until like I'm 47 now, man. It's been the band. I've got the tattoo, Cowboys from Hell, and one on my neck. And it's been one fucking hell of a ride with with those guys for sure. But yeah, that's what started me off. A good though had a very very good bass uh,
Mm-hmm.
from my dad. Thank God he introduced me, especially to touch music. I see Nugent. That was probably one of the loudest concerts I've ever been to. You know, the old Cat Scratch Fever, but that was always just fun to listen to with my dad. He liked AC/DC, Sabbath, Zeppelin, stuff like that. Even Pink Floyd, uh, Van Halen, love me some
Mm-hmm.
Van Halen. But I was fortunate to have such a great start in the right direction. So now,
Yeah, he did.
yeah. So when I found my own way, was I can remember clearly many a times, and my mom has told us this story every time. She goes, when he heard that song, I go up to him, turn that shit up. And knocking on the door, I'm like, oh. And Dad comes out there with my Uncle Craig before, way back then, before he passed. And he didn't go home one night. He was staying night because we had been drinking and whatnot. And my dad goes, all I heard all night was that goddamn song. And all night long, like me and Craig were out there listening to music and stuff. So it was good times, man. That was some very, very great times. Even more so now, now that I'm really
Yeah.
trying to branch out now with music wise. So, but that's for me. Dave, you want to go ahead and fill us in?
I had a totally different background, music wise. I got raised on disco. Uh,
Disco.
my parents, they're, from Puerto Rico. We lived in New York. So as a child, all I could remember was the disco songs still
Oh,
to this day. So I think the very first taste of rock that I can remember that was just straight rock that caught my ear was Heart's Barracuda.
oh wow.
And I got that. I don't know what age I was, but they got for me on 45, and I remember listening to that and listening to that, and then at some point I think the when I heard ACDC Hell's Bells record for the first time, I mean that just started my journey there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, that was a big one for me. The Hell's Bells. I was just a little kid. Um, then come the 82, I think it was. I was a teenager, and I heard Ride the Lightning for the first time. Man, that literally electrified me. From there, anything on that album. I mean, I just had I went up, got the record, and that's all I listened to like forever. I could listen to it nonstop, back to back. And
That's a good
Creeping
one.
Death is to this day. Creeping Death is probably I'm sure it's my top song.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm huge. I'm a huge Metallica fan. So the only thing they've done that I didn't like was Lulu. Still trying to understand that, but
I've yet to hear Lulu.
oh, don't do it. He got together with the band got together with Lou Reed,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's a train wreck. It's a train wreck.
So what's the reason behind the name? Is that the reason why it's called Lulu, or because you have with Lou Reed, or? 'Cause I'm kind of curious. I've never listened to it.
Honestly, don't know that answer. I know the reason why they did it is because Lou Reed was, one of their people they look up to, when they were younger, and the band that he was in. So they always wanted to play with him. So they got together and made that record. I think I've made it through one song, and but that's enough for me. Let's get back to the good stuff.
So you not gonna tell me Load's not their worst album?
I'm
No,
absolutely gonna tell you, Load is not their worst album.
oh no, so it's not
It's
the
a great
worst
album.
It's not the
Load's a
worst.
great album.
It's
Reload's a great album. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say that
I
again.
would probably say Load's not a bad album. It's the moment where I remember being in high school and I go, what the hell am I listening to? This is not Metallica. You see, and I remember seeing the video, and it was like, you heard me playing the other day. I played your Hero of the Day, and I'm telling you, went and rewatched the video, and I'm going, yeah, it was exactly popular back in 90 something,
They were
95,
definitely trying to get into
96.
that grunge movement.
And I'm here to
It
tell
was
you,
that grunge movement.
it was
I don't agree with the makeup. I've never agreed with the makeup. Didn't care about short hair, but makeup was a little much. It looked a little dandy for
I'm
me,
not really,
for my
I'm,
taste.
I'm not taking too much in the short hair. I think it was more the makeup, the
Mm,
fingernails,
yeah,
they kind of really strayed away from the look. The hair not saying no,
yeah.
because people like,
Something that they always said is what they didn't like.
yeah, really.
They never liked the makeup. They
Hmm.
just t-shirt, jeans, and that's what they wore everywhere, and that's how they go on stage. But so it was obviously a transitional period, or just their music has obviously changed. There's no doubt about
Oh
it.
yeah,
But
you can tell.
I like, to me, I call it's just um I would call it progression. I don't think you would call it that, Steve, but
It's one thing you find out when you see a lot of bands, especially when they get older. Um, they're
diversity.
very
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm
they're
saying.
push heavy. Now I will say there are some bands like the new Megadeth does sound very good, very very Tipping Point
I like
sounds very good. So
I'm down with it.
I've got that pre-ordered. I'm waiting for that.
Me too.
Yeah, man, I'm ready for that to come out. But if anything sounds anything like the Tipping Point, it's going to be great. Really, really.
Yeah, yeah, that's
When that's like old Megadeth right now. If not, maybe look at anything they've done in recent couple albums. I think
mm.
personally from what I've seen.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. When I heard that song, I'm like, wow, they're back.
Yeah,
That's how I felt.
absolutely.
It felt like they were going back to that speed that they used to do, and just the music style was what I was appreciating.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, man.
So hopefully that whole record's going to be good. I'm sure it will be.
But I have to say, fortunately for me, Pantera never really deviated from their sound. I guess you would say neither did Slayer. And some people,
No doubt.
I think, I listen to some people and they're like, oh, Slayer, they really pigeonhole themselves. I'm like, no way. Like when you listen to Slayer, you know what you're getting. You can blindfold me and like hold up whatever bands are going to be played and whatever. As soon as you put on Slayer,
Mm,
you know you're listening to Slayer. You automatically know a Slayer song because the guitar
sure.
sound the same. The intensity's there, obviously with the singer, his voice, but everything, you know what you're getting with them. It's something to be hard, fast, and it's going to be brutal.
Yes.
Love Slayer, so that was
Yeah, I do. I've always liked Slayer. I had
love Slayer.
In Blood record was
Oh, yeah.
well played.
Yeah, I think even Kerry King was like, I believe he thinks Rain and Blood was like their top, I believe that's what he was doing. Because I think
Seasons in the Abyss, though. That's another one of my favorites. Season in the Abyss. I love
yeah,
that one.
Well, do you guys think that that's more of a over the years industry or age thing, or do you think that's just
As far
you
as
know, well, we're talking about some of the changes, right? With the exception
yeah,
of
yeah,
Slayer, which apparently never changed a bit,
yeah.
right? Because the industry does have a way of saying, hey, I know you've been making this great music, but maybe you should add or do or make up this or change your hair or
some influence from.
I think a lot of it comes from like,
As far as
um,
Metallica, yeah. They've had different producers that have
yeah,
you know changed. Definitely helped them change. Um, I think it was more. I don't know. As far as Metallica, I don't know. This is just me talking, but age. I mean, let's, you know, Lars, love him to death, but his drumming is he can't keep that speed, man. He just can't. The double bass isn't there anymore. He's cleaned it up better than he has in the past few years, but even when we saw him at the concert in Tampa, I could tell he was definitely missing some beats, but I was okay with it.
Yeah.
So years
But
of
I think it's, and then
being
also I think they were trying to target a larger audience, and they definitely have done that.
I mean, they definitely did that by selling out to the alternative
I,
nation, the grunge kids. And,
I like the way your little smirk just kind of came right at the end when you
you
said
know,
that.
so
you know,
it's an ongoing battle. It's been like this for years.
yeah, they was always respond, but yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
sold,
I'm just
they
gonna
sold
say it
out,
this
they
one
sold
time,
out.
and that's the last time I'll say it tonight, Steven. The numbers don't lie, bro.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, they never. Yeah, well, hold on here. Numbers don't lie. That's right. Pantera debuted number one in 1994. The first, the first heavy metal, extreme metal band to ever do it. To ever do it. The numbers, has Metallica done that yet, Dave? Numbers don't lie.
Gotta look a little broader there, bro.
Oh,
Broader.
I do.
Talking about
They got, oh,
they sell out
listen,
stadiums, man.
look at the members died, and they still have this cult following. Cult following, bro. It's all right.
I'm part of that cult.
It's okay.
I'm
I don't
definitely
hate
part of that
Metallica.
cult. No, you don't, because even you've given the name of this show a
No,
Metallica name.
no.
There you go. You knew that was coming.
It's it all. Go
What?
ahead, record that one.
I had to do it because I didn't want to be like, oh, like, yeah.
Mentor my
I didn't want to do like far beyond driven content, you know. So I was doing you a solid, bud. I mean, it did have a good ring to it, you know. It did.
Good job. Good job.
Sure did.
That's the only reason why I'm on this show today.
Oh, that's good to know. Well,
Why I agree.
oh, man.
That was the tipping. That was my tipping point.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Dave.
A
Oh,
quick thank you for being here.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
yeah. Yeah. So Jose, I got to ask you that. You know, I know you DJ and you do stuff. I guess I've
Yeah.
never really probed into your music choices, you know. And,
So my
One of my favorite words.
my story is actually very similar because in my youth, with my parents being from Puerto Rico, but me being
Oh, do another one.
yeah,
Nice.
being raised in Brooklyn, New York,
wait,
it was such a plethora
you're Puerto Rican?
of yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I guess the world's gonna know now once we call it quits, right? Boricua. But I'll be honest with you, we lived in a part of Brooklyn where you had 4 or 5 different points that kind of met. So you really had a lot of Latinos on one side, African Americans on another, Italians, right? And then the further west you went, you had a lot of the Jewish population. But when I started getting into music, it was mostly Spanish music because that was the culture that I'm used to. That's who's raising me.
Yeah, me too. I forgot to mention that. A lot of
Yeah.
that for me too.
Yeah, but I had neighbors or even friends of mine that their parents were playing. And again, we're all going to date ourselves today, right? Because we're talking about years. They were playing stuff like uh, the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac,
Sure.
Van Halen, The Doors. And I'm listening to this and going, that's not salsa. What's that?
Yeah, I never got that. Wow.
Later on,
Okay.
you had Black Sabbath. I really started liking Guns N' Roses, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
You had one time where I was DJing a party, and towards the end of the night, where it was almost like, okay, a lot of people are leaving. They wanted to hear a few things that aren't so much dance music as there is just something that they enjoyed. I found out more about the Rolling Stones. I really got into Pink Floyd when I heard, what is it, Another Brick on the Wall. I finally got a chance to watch the video like a week later, and I was like, dude, this is like I don't want to go to school either. F them teachers.
Yeah, you know what? You're having me remember. You know, that's one
Yeah.
song I forgot about that was a big influence because
Yeah.
yeah, I got that 45 when I was a kid, and I felt the same way. Oh, these lyrics are awesome, Mom.
Yeah. I think it was mid 90s, late 90s. I started getting into more of the Aerosmith, Nirvana kind of thing. I remember, the day I took my ASVAB. So there's a military base by the Brooklyn Bridge. And when you walk in, they're playing more of the America kind of, music. But then when you go to the back, the guys that do all the enlistments, the recruiters that are there, they're listening to all their stuff. And that's the first time, God, was it mid 90s? I heard Foo Fighters. I don't know if you guys were into Foo Fighters 90s, going into 2000s. But that's, I think, one of the things that started making me go, you know what? I've been listening to stuff, but I really haven't been enjoying it the way I probably should. So I
Yeah.
think for me, it came on later, like late 90s, early 2000s, where I really started to go back and listen to all those songs again. Um, Especially Red Hot Chili Peppers and Nirvana, and Aerosmith. I think those three for me used to hit big because of me moving around, me having to go and deal with stuff. Woman problems. Let's not even talk about that. You know, 'cause
That's
there's
another
there's
problem.
always a good song that helps you either get over or remember
Yeah.
someone you're with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
True.
What's one of the first concerts you ever been to, guys? My first concert was 1989 Steel Wheels tour, Rolling Stones in the Gator Bowl. And
I was there.
you were there for that?
I was
Oh,
there.
that's awesome.
89?
Yeah,
89?
yeah. Matter of fact,
I remember the
that
shirt. I had the
T-shirt.
shirt.
Yeah, that's what it's right there. I was telling you, I was looking up some stuff and I found that vinyl. That shirt is in that box back here. I'm like, oh my god, and it's like it's
I don't know what happened.
yeah,
Yeah, I was there.
yeah, man. And
Great concert.
I was a young man, and I remember going to like the big tunnel you had to walk through to go get concessions. Back when they had the bleachers,
Mhm.
you walk down the bleachers, you got into the little track you walk by, and you walk through these little tunnels to get to where your concessions were. And my dad took me with him, and I remember this huge dude, man, this very big guy, and I just couldn't breathe. He was just crushing me, and I was like, Dad, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. He looks down, this guy is just wasted, and my dad looks at him, and I remember my dad's like, I grabbed him up by his shirt and go, get the fuck. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you know. Look back at that, I was like, yeah, man, that was awesome. But the show was great itself because you remember who opened up was Living Color. And they were great, man. Cult of Personality,
Sure.
they were great. And
Yeah, man.
how we got those guys, we could have had Guns N' Roses, but the winner of Best New Artist was going to get the West Coast for the Stones, and the runner-up gets the East Coast. You're not beating that an hour with Appetite for Destruction. You're just not beating them out. And so we got those guys, and they were great. And because they were still very big back then too. And then when the
Oh, yeah.
Stones came on, I remember they had the big blow up woman. If you remember, they had the
I actually don't remember that.
yeah, they had the big blow up woman, man. Massive, and he
How old were you? How old were you?
man, he might have been, I don't know, he's 11 years old, maybe 10.
And Steve was
Oh, yeah.
watching her the entire concert.
We were doing some heavy drinking.
Yeah.
I don't remember the one. Yeah.
And so Jagger went up, and he was pulling on the rope, and he was making the woman like gyrate, like rock back and forth. And I'm like, and young Steve was like,
Nice.
what's going on here? And you were doing heavy drinking apparently, but it's funny you said because I had a buddy when he was alive, man. He got real messed up. It was my dad's friend and Uncle Craig's friend, and uh, he got so messed up. He was doing keg stands and shots out, and like they were tailgating before the show. He was so partied out by the time he got in there, and he was down low in the bowl, and he fell asleep on the chair in front of him. And then he woke up, and the next day he's like, "Hey, did I have a good time?" I was like, "Apparently so, bro." Yeah.
See, that's when you come up with like the best story. Just come up with something and tell them, "Oh, you were on the stage," and
Oh, that was Brent. I was like, "Stevie, they called you up on stage. You don't remember that? Oh, good." You think about shit like that now,
Yeah.
What was y'all's first concert?
I don't think I'm going to divulge that, Stephen.
Metallica?
I wish.
Uh,
It would be a lie.
Pantera.
It would be a lie.
yeah, yeah.
I'll give you 3 guesses. All right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll never guess. So I'm okay with it. But there is no way on good God's earth that I'm going to divulge that one.
No, go ahead and tell me.
Now, I would tell you my first rock concert. Sure,
Okay,
we could do that.
what's your first rock concert?
Let me
You
think.
probably went the Backstreet Boys or what was it? New Kids in the Block.
Instinct.
No. I was still in school. So I was at
Okay.
I was at Bishop Kenny,
No, Bishop.
and
Okay.
All right.
and the huge band back then. This is going back now. How old are you, Jose?
Oh,
How old are you?
we're putting these ages out here now too.
I'm 56.
All right, so I'll go with 49. That way, Steve could be the youngest guy with the longest hair.
Yes.
All right, I think I'm probably the oldest. I'm guessing.
Yes, you are.
I'm not
Yeah, we'll give that to you.
Okay. All right. So I grew up in the 80s, right? So a lot of the music back then, it was, it wasn't Bananarama. I can tell you that. I can tell you. It wasn't the fucking Thompson Twins.
Oh.
It wasn't the Thompson Twins. I can tell you that. And it wasn't Culture Club.
Was it
It wasn't Madonna. Huh?
So,
Was it Jerry and the
so
Pacemakers?
I don't know who those are.
Jerry in the pacemaker. He's
Good.
climbing. He's
All
climbing.
right, you know
Okay, so
what?
let's do this.
I'm secure enough in my manhood to go ahead and tell you.
Hold on. I want to take a stab at this, just
Okay?
because.
I'll give you 3.
Was it here in Jacksonville? Did you have to travel for it?
Absolutely here. Yeah, I was still in school.
Because I'm trying to think. So we had, what year was Leonard
10th
Skinner
grade.
here?
10th grade.
Because if he was here locally, and Jacksonville isn't as well known as it is now, because we didn't have.
It's not just a he. There's not a girl, all right, but it's not just one person in the band. All right, as far as the singing goes.
And if it had to be from here,
that's a little juicy nugget.
Okay, how about this? How about Queen?
Who?
Queen?
Nope.
ABBA?
Nope.
You said a guy in the role singing.
No girls.
No girls. Okay, I like you said a guy in the girls.
ABBA. I really enjoyed it. I remember I had Gretchen Path. She got up on my shoulders. She had her snacks right on the back of my neck. And man, I was in heaven, son. I was in heaven. Gretchen Path, I love you.
I'm trying to think around that time frame who would have been coming to Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to think of
Journey like 75? So 75, 80, that would have been 10 years into Journey?
It wasn't Journey.
No. Damn.
Was it?
You're never gonna guess. You're never gonna guess. I don't even know. I'm sure you've heard of him, Jose, because you're a DJ. So you probably have a crap load of music on file. But it was Tears for Fears.
Yeah, man.
I said it wasn't the Culture Club. I hated that. It was Tears for Fears.
Tears for Fears not bad. Even when I was younger,
if you've actually heard the album, it's really good.
Yeah, Tears for Fears not. We'll put this metal.
That was it. That was number 1.
But that Tears for Fears they're actually pretty solid. If you're going to categorize the 80s, they have one of the best 80s songs.
That album from front to back is awesome.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That ain't too bad. I thought you were going to say something ridiculous like Boy George.
No, I said no Culture Club.
Yeah,
my sister had the record with that freaking Karma Camellia song. Fucking
Come on.
That was a chick. I thought that was a girl back in the day.
I can see why. An ugly girl, but yes.
Yeah, I asked my mom, I was like, why is that a girl trying to be a boy? She's like, it's not a girl. I'm like, oh. Learned her?
He's just pretty.
Yeah, early on that, I was like, okay, I got you. So, what was the first rock concert?
I got to think about that because I've been to a bunch. So, see, Van Halen. I'm trying to think my very first one. Damn, I just can't. If I were to guess, and this is a guess, but I'm going to say it was AC/DC. I've seen them like 4 times,
Never seen them.
but I wouldn't go see them today. But back in the day, that was a great show when Angus was spry.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to see them when they came with that Razor's Edge concert,
Mhm.
and I never got my dad didn't buy me tickets to it. He went by himself,
That would have
and
been a good. That
yeah,
would have been a good.
but he did take me to see Van Halen. I give him that.
I would say my first thrash concert though, metal, heavy metal,
Yeah.
was definitely Suicidal Tendencies.
Okay.
The
Skater
first pit
metal.
I've
Yeah.
ever been in. I've never been into a box pit until Suicidal Tendencies, and that was a whole other world.
Let's see. Well, Jose, do you got any that you ever seen? Or
Mm.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't really much of a concert showing up at shows, because I remember as a young boy I went to one. I want to say it was with my dad and like my older cousin, and even then I wasn't really into it. Now, sadly, I've worked more events than I've actually gone to.
right.
So doing the security thing on the side, hey, listen, we want you to do this event, want you to do that event, so on and so forth. And I've gotten a chance to go to stuff, and I've been doing more of the behind the scenes, behind the curtain, escorting them around, making sure no one's bothering them while they're trying to eat or get ready for the show and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Which to me has always been, just me. If I had a choice, though, I think I would definitely, in my prime, had went to go see the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
In
Uh,
their prom would have
in
been.
their prime, right? That's what I'm saying. Like I'm talking about like 84, 85, 86.
What was that record? The big one, Sugar
No,
Sex
Bob
Magic or something.
Sex Magic.
Yeah.
That record
That was
is
huge.
pretty,
That was huge.
pretty damn good.
That was huge for them.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
But
Yeah.
Chan and I, since we have XM radio on the car, we actually have the Red Hot Chili Peppers radio station.
Mhm.
So we just click right to it
Mhm.
because we both enjoy that so much. And I think that over the years, being able to meet certain people, there have been a lot of people that are super humble. There's a lot of people that stay super professional. There's one person that, as much as I don't like saying it, especially on here since this is recorded, I wish death upon. But I've met an aspect and a full range, of artists and how they live their lives and stuff. So I think that that's one of my other influences, that meeting some of the people that obviously don't deserve to be there because they're just buttholes,
Mhm.
versus
Yeah.
actually
That
meeting
was
some people
fun.
who are great and humble and always wanting to
I
go
mean,
out.
yeah. Steve, I mean, I think about when Steve got to meet Phil.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way I would have felt of meeting James Hetfield. And if Phil was a dick, you know what I'm saying? That could have just
Yeah.
Oh,
ruined it.
crushed me. It would have crushed me.
Yeah, dude, I totally
That
understand it.
fucking kid inside of me would have died right then and there, man. I'd be like, I'm ready to go home.
But you know what? He
Yeah.
freaking, man, how awesome is that dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see how those experiences make they influence and help people get better at believing in what they're saying, listening and understanding their music, and then wanting to do more things. This is a perfect example. You know what I'm saying? Had you met him and he wasn't the person that you were hoping, could you just imagine? You'd probably be like, no, they're all like that, and maybe you wouldn't go to as many concerts. Maybe you
Yeah,
wouldn't,
yeah,
pre-ordering and supporting them
there's
like
no
that.
doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have cried and said, dude, do you know if it was James, I would say, do you realize how much money I've spent on you?
Yeah.
That's the whole part of your band, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of concerts, man, so let's talk about the concerts that we've been to recently. Two massive shows. Uh, very like amazing shows on top of that. Like for me, especially, were bucket list type shit that I know I'll never get the opportunity again to do. If I'm lucky, I'll see a couple other bands, and we'll discuss that later. But, we've seen, Metallica at the M72 tour, and, we went and then, after that, what was it in September? We went down to West Palm and see Pantera
God.
at their heaviest tour, headlining tour. But we'll start with Metallica, man, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. I think I wrote a review on it, and I didn't have anything really bad to say about it. You're obviously at a stadium, so it's more wide open, man. And the 2-day event, which was Ice Nine Kills, Limp Bizkit, then Metallica. I missed Ice Nine Kills, and I actually remember telling Dave, like, I don't know, man, I'm not too sure about these guys.
You weren't.
Today's,
You were kind of negative from the get.
I mean, I wasn't too sure on it, wasn't too sure, and I remember you, Dave, you were working on me, like, come on, man, it'll be Van Terra and Metallica side by side. Let's go to the concert. Let's do it, man. Me and you. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'll think about it. And finally, I think I hit you up and go, hey, man, I'm going to the concert and I got these tickets. I got the VIP package. And you're like, fuck.
I remember that.
You're like, fuck.
I remember that.
I was,
Uh,
yeah, no,
and I believe, if I
Chris.
remember, you tried to trick me originally and say you told me that you had gotten the access to Metallica.
No. I had actually a dedicated entrance for like where they had the road crew and all that. So that's what was included in the VIP package where you get to go in.
No, I know that. I'm just saying there was a point where you tried to just to mess with me, my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Metallica package. I'm like, what, you motherfucker?
Oh,
Why
no,
would you
I
do that?
did.
You don't even like Metallica.
I did have the Metallica. I had the Metallica Seek and Destroy VIP package. That's what I had.
I know we talked.
Yeah.
You know, and I
And
was
I think so if I still got the meet and greet, I probably would have never went just to be a dick.
you would have come home the same man.
No, I'm not.
You would have come home the same man.
I would have not. I'd just been a waste of money on my part, but I would have went, for sure. But, it was, I missed out on Lights Man Kills because they grew on me. Even up to the day of the
Good.
show, I was like, you know what? These guys are actually very talented too, man.
Dude,
I'm not,
that band is tight as shit.
no, they really are. I'm just not into I guess I'm not into the whole, the guy can sing very well on top of that. He can, and he has a great voice, and how about he's got some pipes that he can scream and shit like that. I guess it kind of just throws me a loop. I'm not a fan so much of where he's singing and then he has to scream. But it grew on me, man. And there was one where it was like the Pet Cemetery video that I watched on. That was a really good song that was kind of what they were going to play. But I missed out on it, man. Parking was so terrible. I was like, man, the wife had a stroke, and I was like, man, she cannot make this walk. We looked and looked and looked, could not find any parking, and we got stuck at a light for 20 minutes. AC was broken in the vehicle, and it was like 98 degrees out, no movement of air. So we were blazing hot. Temperatures were high. We finally get to a spot where it's close to the stadium. And I said, dude, my wife had a stroke, heart attack and a stroke. Can I please park in here? I got $100 bill right now for you. Put me park here. He goes, yeah, I got you. I mean, he goes, you got to give me the money down low and I'll let you go because you got cops right there. And I have to scan these tickets to let you in, but I'll make it look like I'm scanning you. Bet. He takes money, he goes, go park wherever you want. And I parked, walk right across the street. You're in. Went to the dedicated entrance. We got in. And we got in during Limp Bizkit, which I'm going to tell you, man, Limp Bizkit's got it. They've still got it, man. Still, they sound clean. They sounded
I was
exactly,
expecting it.
they sounded exactly like they did when I was younger, like back when. I don't know if they're more clean now than they probably were with like their first album, $3 bills, but they still got it, man. They were super clean. And then Metallica came on with Creeping Death. I think that was the opening song. Am I right about that?
Yeah, man.
And so when we had, my wife was getting a little anxious and this and that because she didn't know none of the newer songs they were playing. Like, look, the songs that you're wanting to hear, they're going to play, but you're going to have to wait a little bit because I knew the set list. And I looked it up. I'm like, okay, so after I was like, look, I think two more songs. If they play the song, I think that's going to happen. What you're looking for is going to play next. And I think that night was Nothing Else Matters. They played that. And then we had Megan's like, I'm going. I can't do this anymore. I'm not a fan of the new stuff. I'm just not. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, cool. I guess I'm leaving. And they, as soon as we walk out, we get down, right? As soon as we get outside to see him through the gate, and we're like walking distance, not that far from where we just left on. I go, hey, Meg, you hear what they're playing? And she's like, she shook her head. She goes, well, we're going to wait right here. I'm going to, I go, oh, no, 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 we're going to go. Remember, you wanted to leave. We're going. And so we listened to the one song, and then they played another song. I forgot what it was. It might have been, I don't know if it was Sad But True, but it was one of the songs of the Black Album. Um, we left that night and we were driving by and we heard everything. I'm like, oh, listen, here's the other song you want to hear. She's like, just go, just go. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, yeah. So the next night, it was Suicidal Tendencies, the greatest band I'd ever played, then Metallica, and with was Pantera was the second night. And I'll tell you what, growing up, I didn't really care too much for Suicidal. It just wasn't for me. Uh,
Yeah.
it's I was never a fan. It was more like skater metal, I guess you would say.
It was.
But when I heard them live, like I even remember texting my buddy Jason Rigdon. Shout out Jason Rigdon. Um, he played bass for me in our band, and we by text and go. He's like, "Yeah, I wasn't ready for Pantera. I'm not so sure about Suicidal, man." And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." I texted my dad saying, "Bro, they came on. They killed. They absolutely. I thought they killed. I was
Yeah.
so. I still don't like their studio stuff.
They have the ex drummer from Slipknot. I mean, that dude is
I mean,
that wasn't the original drummer. That was Slipknot's drummer.
oh
I mean, that
really?
guy is
And
amazing.
I was impressed. I still don't like
Yeah.
I don't like their studio stuff, but their live stuff is so much better than their studio album. And sometimes I think that some bands are better live than they are when they're on the recordings. Maybe that's because
Mhm.
the how it sounded back in 1980 something compared to what it
Yeah.
is the sound now. I mean, I'm here to tell you it's not day. So it was a 10 for me for those guys. I was super impressed,
That-
super impressed. And then it was of course, Pantera. As much as I love Pantera, it was great. They're my heroes, and reason why I picked up a guitar because of Dime, and I picked up a mic from my own band because of Phil. And
Mhm.
it was still one of those things where it just was like it was awesome to see these guys, and I was like, I'll never get to see these guys again.
Yeah.
But it was like it was in a massive stadium, and it was like okay, And then you got Metallica again. Metallica was great the night. My daughter went with me, and Maya, which she's like
Yeah.
she busted your balls a little bit, which was awesome. Um,
She busted me on that shirt
on that,
right
yeah,
there.
on that shirt. Yeah, yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
shirt.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, that's not a good looking shirt. Oh, the shirts.
I really, really had to contain my
Oh, it
language.
was great. I loved it. It was like high five, babe.
Yeah.
you know, but she enjoyed it, and of course they played For Whom the Bell Tolls, which was great. It sounded amazing. It sounded really good. I think the only thing I said, the only regret I had after I watched the two nights of Metallica was I wish I had gone and seen them when I was younger and they were younger. I
Oh yeah.
probably would have been more receptive to Metallica later on as I got, like, how I am, man. You know my opinion on
I do.
things, and it's not like I don't hate Metallica, not by one bit. It's just I have a distinct opinion of they should have never
Can't
tweaked the sound, man. It was semi-gay entity, but they didn't. But
look. There's it's 50-50, man. There's the haters. That anything post injustice is garbage.
no, I like the Black
So
Album. I dug the Black.
I've heard it for years, and I'm like, hey, to each his own. But
I just,
I thought Dave was really going to tell you everyone's entitled to their opinion, even if they're wrong.
yeah,
yeah,
it was wrong.
no,
Yeah,
Believe me, we've been down that road many a
Me
time.
and you on this one, man, for years,
Arguments, big
years,
arguments.
ever since John Stone, it was, we,
And you're the one that coined the name Martalica.
yeah, I was like, Martinez,
You are the one.
yeah,
You are the one. And then right after that,
you
I
said
came
it.
up with Van Taylor.
Terry. I was like, yes,
So much
this is
sense. I'm like,
it.
Van Taylor.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you feel about that show? I mean, because I felt it was, even though it was like in a big show, like it was a big arena, I wish it was like, I could have seen them in like Veterans Memorial Coliseum.
Yeah.
And I would have been there.
Yeah.
I could have embraced the concert, would have been like, you know, more to the point, more intimate. Or say
Yeah. It's more personal.
70,000 people, in the stands, it's like looking around, the acoustics weren't as great as they probably could have been because it's another stadium, but you didn't even, again, bucket list, check mark.
I'm sorry,
I get
refresh my memory. Where did they hold
I
that
enjoyed
one?
it.
Raymond James Stadium in Tampa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought every band with for me the exception of would be Suicidal because I saw them in their younger days when they came here on the Lights Camera Action album and they were hitting it pretty hard. They were good. I just remember when they were better,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So they
You
were
know,
better back then because it was the first time I'd ever seen.
me personally, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the guy's still putting it out there. I mean, he's got some age to him, man. He was rocking it out. He's still got his little move that he does,
Yeah, he does.
shuffling.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, my.
You know, but,
And he still,
yeah, and
apparently, he still wants.
that lead, their guitarist, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's
I
great,
forget
man.
his.
He killed. Yeah, they were the surprise of the 2 day. Like
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to see X9, and I did watch a little bit of the video. Some people recorded it and posted it, and it was cool, but I wasn't there to really see it, so I can't really give an honest opinion on it, because I wasn't there for that. But so,
I saw him in a smaller venue earlier. Here, they were here in
yeah,
Jacksonville.
really,
Um, yeah, there was three bands. There
hmm,
was Ice Nine Kills, Avatar, and then In This Moment.
yeah,
Um, which I was going. I'm a huge Avatar fan, so I was really going to go see them. And In This Moment, but Ice Nine, when I saw Ice Nine on stage, I couldn't believe how good they sounded. I
really.
was hooked.
So what do you think
I
about
got that.
the?
Get that Welcome to Horrorwood album. It is really good.
So what did you think about the 2 day in Tampa?
I don't have. That was one of the greatest times I've ever had.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I loved every bit of it.
yeah,
Um, both dates to me were so worth getting scorched in that sun.
yeah. You did. I was in the shade
Yeah,
too.
I was gonna go in jeans. I was gonna wear my freaking Metallica battle vest, and I'm thinking, what the hell? I would have died out there.
Yeah, yeah,
It was so freaking hot. But I don't have anything negative to say. I just every band I thought on there did their job
yeah.
um, almost flawlessly, I would say,
It was different,
except for
seeing.
Lars. Lars was a little off. Hmm?
I would say it was different obviously seeing Zach up on stage. I think I sent you a video once. I was like, hey, dude, check this out with Zach and Charlie. And I think it was using my third arm. It's like, bro, listen to this. It sounds as close to the original lineup as you're gonna get. I was so impressed.
Yeah,
Like I had the hairs on my arm were standing. I was like, wow, this is great. But of course they didn't play it, because it wasn't there.
yeah,
They really only played the hits, obviously for that show. And rightfully so,
yeah. I remember you were saying something. You were wanting to hopefully they were going to play some of the deeper cuts. What were you? What songs in particular were
Oh,
you? Were
it
you?
was like I was really hope they had, like I said, used my third arm. They had played they didn't play. I wanted them to play Hellbound, which is
That's a good one.
they played West Palm, but I knew they wouldn't play much of the Cowboys. His voice ain't gonna cut that no more. He's just too old for that. But some stuff off of Far Beyond or reinvent like Goddamn Electric or Guess They Don't Mean Shit or, just some shit like that. Or
Yeah.
even more so Floods, which is, a lot of people say that's Dimebag's greatest guitar solo, which, man, it's pretty good, but
Mhm.
I'd say one negative I did, I do remember them playing one. And the one thing I didn't like about it was they got to the part and where it's like they break into Lars breaks into the double bass and he's just like, he's just going into it, he sped that up really fast. And I'm like, yo, he's really speeding that up. That's not
Mhm.
how I remember it being. It was so fast. I felt like he was, I don't know, man. I felt like he messed that song up, and I was kind of disappointed on the back
I,
end.
I just thought I totally did not get that.
You didn't hear that? Oh,
No, what I'm saying is I disagree.
no, I thought it was like he sped it up a little too fast. It was like, okay, he sped the tempo up a little bit. In my opinion, too fast
I
for
was
me.
I was just happy that he was pulling the double bass
Oh
off
no, he did for sure.
because he's not doing too much of it anymore. He does it, but not like he used
Like
to.
he used to, yeah.
Mhm. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. And then shortly after, what was it? I go and I say, I thought I was done with Pantera, and what lo and behold, Pantera's heaviest tour ever. And I look and I seen how much the prices of the tickets were. I said, you gotta be kidding me with the parking pass. With, let me tell you,
Yeah.
that parking pass. Remember, I wanted to buy one for the Metallica show, and I think you wanted to buy one. I think you were pissed off because
Was
they didn't even check your ticket, and he's like, "Oh, just come on in." You're like, "I wasted money. I could have said
I
that.
could have just parked there.
You could have just snuck right in
Snuck
there,
right
huh?
in." Yeah,
Yeah. I just man, I was
yeah.
but
Well, we I think what was it like 312 out the door for the tickets, and a premium parking pass that was pretty close.
yeah.
And then on top of that, I got to do. I was like, "Fuck, man! If I'm going to do it, I got an opportunity to do a meet and greet." And I looked, and they were available. I said, "Man, I got to do it. This is maybe the last time I'll ever get this opportunity." And I said, "If I don't do this, I'll
Mhm.
regret this. I'll
You
regret it."
will.
And I was like, "Man, I've been trying since I was 12, 13 years old to meet these guys at a show, when they came with Vulgar Display of Power with White Zombie. I think it was at the Florida Times Meeting, I think, maybe, and I never could knew how to reach these guys and meet them. I didn't know what to do. And my dad wasn't wanting to hang around late to see if they come back on stage, maybe, see them or something. And he was, he's always, I got to get to work or some kind of shit, which I get it, man. Um,
Yeah.
I was like, mate, I gotta do it. She's like, okay. I was like, damn, I didn't even hesitate. So, and as it worked out,
That's a good one.
and as it turned
Good one.
out, if we had the two tickets, there's no Megan's going. And I was like, shit, so he's gonna be able to make the walk, and this season gonna know where to go. And because I'm gonna be going in for the meet and greet by myself, I better ask these guys what to do. So I called them up, make the email. Can we do something to accommodate my wife? She had a stroke, and I'm not sure if she can make the walk up, and she can't really
Yep. I
walk.
remember.
Yeah, so they hit me with an email back. They're like, yeah, we talked to the touring and talked to the band and the touring, and boom, she can do it with you. I was like, oh, here we go. Yeah, so she got to go in for free for the meet and greet, which was awesome.
That was
And
awesome.
then I tell you, Dave, it was like, hey, man, I got two tickets right next to me. And I showed you where it's at. We're 13 rows from the stage, you know,
Yep.
312 with a park. Yeah, it's including
Bye.
a parking pass. And
Yeah.
yeah, and
It's a hell of a deal. I was in, man. I was
so
in.
when I saw the price, I'm like, you can't do it, man. Because parking pass,
No.
he parking way out in East Egypt. When you look, and
And then we get there and opening bands. I didn't think I was really going to enjoy it all. Took a few listens before
yeah,
I went, and I looked at the wife, and we're sitting in the backyard. And I'm like, honey, I I listened to King Parrot, and then I listened to Amon Marth, and both bands I listened to. I'm like, I don't know, man. This is a little more than I'm into. I think a little heavier.
Maybe a little
You know,
over the
just
head, you know?
so I went into that concert not thinking that I was going to enjoy anything up until Pantera came on, and boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, man.
Enjoy the
I actually
middle of
enjoyed
it.
Pantera. I enjoyed it. I thought they put on a great show. I love the bass guy. Was he's damn near my hero. Um, I got some things to work out vocally with the guy, but the music itself is a good thing. And then Lamar came on, and I was sold from the first friggin' song. I can't remember never hearing a band and being so much into it, hearing it for the first time like that.
Yeah, bro. Like, I
It's almost like you could sing it word for word, and you never heard the song before.
yeah,
It was just
yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. It is.
Yeah, what
That was
happened,
one
man?
hell. Those guys.
I text right after I text her, what'd you think? You're like, I fucking love it. I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely
I
love it.
was big time, man. Big
And then
time.
you got to think about, and this is going back to the behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
The people that have listened to these bands said, "Hey, these three, these four would be great as openers for this other band," because it takes a lot to really figure out what's going to mix well, who's going to mix well, especially when they're back there, trying to change up equipment and stuff like that. And
Sure.
there are times where the personalities clash, but the music you would never tell because they sound amazing when they're up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I think we've all heard horror stories of
yeah.
bands that together and they just didn't mesh.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
sure. But with me, man, I'm going to tell you real quick because I don't know. I've only told a few people the behind the scenes story with the meet and greet. I think Dave, I told you, and I'm sure Jose, I haven't even told you, but when we did the meet and greet, so when you walk in, and I'm getting there, and we're in line, and Megan's like, "Hey, should I say, are you the guys that do the one song, the
Oh,
Sad But True?"
that'd have
And
been
I
nice.
was like, "You fucking do that, I'll disown you." And it was
I think they would have got a kick out of it.
He was like fucking me. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind here. I was kind of panicky a little bit. But as you got up, it's about to be go time. And first person that greets you is Zach. And Zach, he's like, hey, what's up, brother? And gives you the biggest bear hug. And I'm hugging Zach Rowe. I'm hugging Zach Rowe.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'll see, and you turn the corner, and then I'll see Rex. And he's a little dude, man. I didn't think he was, he may be like 5'8", maybe 5'9".
My,
And I look at him, I turn the corner, I'm looking, I'll go, and if anything, I could have said anything, be like, yeah, what's up, guys, or anything. I go, holy shit.
I wish I could have been
Right.
there to
You
see
know what I
this.
mean? And Rex looks, Rex has to look up to me. He looks at me, he gets his big old smile on his face. He's like, shakes his head like, yeah, he gets it, and gives me a fist bump. And I'm like, oh my God, what's up, Rex? He's soft spoken in Charlie's shorter than him. And,
Yeah.
he
And
gives me,
Siller from Anthrax, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then there's Philly. Hey, what's up, man? And he daps me up and gives me a hug. I'm like, oh my God, I'm hugging Phil. I'm hugging Phil. And I turn around. He goes, all right, all right, let's get this picture. And I was like, oh, shit. And again, anything I could say, I go, fucking 12-year-old kid inside me is fucking freaking out right now. I'm losing my mind. And Phil goes, all right, you 12-year-old motherfucker, come here. He puts his arm around my neck, and and I'm like, and I'm trying to look so tough in this picture, man. I've got the face on, looking like, something, and I've got the fist up, and I'm trying to get this mean look, and I end up going, I'm cheesed out so hard, just,
You went from a 12-year-old boy that's excited to a 12-year-old
I
girl.
need a,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Hey,
I said,
I think you did better than I would do.
he put his arm around me. I'm like, fuck, I got my arm around him, and I'm like, whatever. And it was, damn, man, I couldn't. It was just, I was very starstruck, and that was the best thing I can say of what it was, And my buddy Chris Jordan, he's like, "You were starstruck, man. That's what it was." I go, "Damn it, dude!" But I said, "You know what? I'll probably never get that opportunity again." ever.
Yeah, you know.
And I got a long
And,
lasting memory. I got a great story to tell, meeting these
yep.
guys, and they were super fucking cool. And if you look at the picture, Charlie is on his tippy toes to get his head
Yeah,
up.
he's in the back.
Yeah, and he's so short. He's like, look like this. He's on his tippy toes. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I felt so bad.
I
He's so
did.
short. And, but, once we got out of there, I went and got, do a double. I was hoping to do a shot of Crown and like, hey, let's do a double. So they served us a shot of Jack. And I was like, well, we don't have Crown. I'll go give me his, cousin Jack. And we got a double shot of Jack. They didn't even ice it. And it was a double shot of Jack, but it was hot. I'm like, ah, I like Jack.
It's a little rough on the.
I was
It's a little rough on the palate.
some hairs on my chest, or at least burned it off. One of the two.
You
And,
like the ice?
yeah, he could have iced it up, kind of something, but it was a little rough going down. But
Mhm.
I remember I felt kind of bad because I knew you were here, and Megan was up in her seat. And I was like, I gotta go to the rail, man. I may never get this opportunity again. I'm in the pit area, so I was on that rail for King Parrot, and
Right up front.
right in front, man, like right in front of the guitarist. And I gotta
Yep.
say, man, when I heard King Parrot, the me again, like Dave said, it's musically great, and
Mhm.
I totally dug King Parrot, and like I have nothing but great things to say about them. Because even now, so I text you, Dave, I told you this many times. Well, I'll text you like, no, I don't know, man. I've got King Parrot on the speed dial right now, right in the job, and the earpiece. It's on YouTube Music. It's at the King Parrot, and it's all about King Parrot. That's like the more I listen to it, man. It's just that it, man. I fucking love King Parrot right now. That's my band right now. And then you see him on a march, and I can't agree with Dave so much more. It's like when you hear it, you're like, holy shit. Like it immediately brings you in and
Yep.
it takes you in, like your family, like boom, get in here. It's like, it was just amazing they had these two giant, blown up, Viking statues, and they had a little Viking helmet where the drummer was sitting on the little riser, and, and they had guys come out with swords, fighting with swords, and they went out a few times, went off, came back on, and they did put your back into the oar, and Philip came out, and they had this rowboat. Guys from Pantera and King Perry in the boat, and they were rowing the boat, and
You know what? I didn't even know that.
you didn't see that,
I had no idea about that book. No,
dude. Yeah, for
didn't
sure.
know it. Wow.
So Phil was
Wow.
there with his little Viking little helmet on or whatever, and
Because I was just about to say, I think that was the cheesiest part for me was that book that came out. But I had no idea that was them on there. If I'd have known that, yeah, that would have been cool.
yeah,
I didn't know.
they were in there rowing the boat, and the guy, I got about the plants I'm on the mark, man. I wish I had heard of them sooner. Um,
Oh yeah, me too.
and
I mean, that's music that I would normally the first time I heard, that voice, that style music,
mm,
or go to the next bands. So yeah, for me, it was an eye opener.
sure.
And since then, I'm starting to hear all these other bands in that genre that I'm like I'm starting to listen to Hatebreed. I
Oh, I
had
love
never
Hatebreed.
listened to Hatebreed. I know you've known
No, I love me
you've
some
talked
Hatebreed.
about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm starting to listen to this. I guess the best word is death metal. Is that what they call it?
Hatebreed, no, they're not death metal, man. I'm not even sure what you would call a Hatebreed, man, but they're just aggressive, man. I got into them early on. I was like, yeah, I dig them, man.
It's a bunch of aggressive. That's
You
for
put them
sure.
on the gym, and you can really get some weights in and get a good set in with some
Yeah.
Hatebreed. And
Mhm.
but speaking of all the other, King Parrot and among my Pantera, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Pantera. They were great as usual. They played the deep cut because I got you on, one of the videos. I know this song, man. They played Tens, and I love Tens off of the Trendkill album, and they played that shit, man. I was like, yes, 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 yes. I knew every word to it. Megan's like, yeah, I saw you singing the entire thing, man. I knew, of course, you know, I know the words
Mhm.
of the song. It was great. That whole thing, man, was so intimate. And that's why how I wish Metallica was, you know, probably would have been more impactful for me, you know, but it is what
Me
it
too.
is. But that's for me, I felt like that this tour for Panther was much more because again, it was more intimate. Even Megan said, yeah, this was way
I couldn't agree with you more on that. I mean, to be able to be that close to see, you know, Phil on the stage. I mean, just so
yeah,
clearly and just that close. Every band. I mean, it was just. Uh,
yeah, it's great.
I'm going to say it's one of the greatest concerts I've ever been to, and
Yeah.
I feel like I say that a lot, but man, that was a hell of a concert.
Yeah,
That
because
was absolutely
it was like it was I felt it was
the
so more
greatest concert I've
personal.
ever been to.
You know, it was great. You know, seats were great. My experience was great.
Yeah,
Everything to down to the point was great. You know.
yeah. And there was good people around.
Hell yeah, there was.
Because
No,
it can be
nothing.
like even when we went to Tampa with Metallica. Sometimes you can get unlucky and get some people you don't really, they're not real considerate. But um, I mean, both of these concerts, everybody was cool and just enjoying the music and having a good time. And
Yeah.
it was memorable,
But speaking
very
of
memorable.
like the bands we were listening to, you know, King Parrot. So I guess there's no better time to tell the guests we're going to have on
The King,
the 16th will be this month will be King Parrot will be in here. I think it's going to be Matt, the lead singer. Great guy, you know. He agreed to come on the show. He was more than welcoming, very well, you know, like I said, welcoming to say, hey, yeah, we'll do it. And then when I'm reading his email, it's like I can hear him in his Australian accent. Hey, mate, you know, I'm like, this is pretty cool. You know, I'm reading like I can hear him, but yeah, man, getting them on there, I think that's cool as hell, man. To get him on the
very
show
cool.
and we'll talk and pick his brain a little bit, and you know, kind of chit chat with him and see what he has going on and what King Parrot's got going. Talk about the tour and you know let
Yep.
everybody see if they got anything coming to the North Florida area anytime soon or in the future, man. Because I'm telling you, if they come here, man, I'm doing new backflips off the stage. I'm here to tell you.
So, did you say that,
It
Stephen?
sounds like a CGI, but I got to see this to believe it.
Well, you have to say, I mean, you're technically able with that kind of stuff, right? So you can make
Yeah,
it happen.
yeah,
Green
exactly.
screen,
I'm awesome enough.
I'm
some
gonna
light.
use all my best AI skills to have him do a backflip.
Well, you know what's on wait,
I pay to see it.
I can get up on that stage and probably jump on it. I'm not sure what the backflips, you know.
If you pivot the right way, gravity will take
You know,
over.
we'll
Don't worry
jump
about it.
over. The landing, I don't know, I might blow out both the knees again, you know. But yeah, man, that's what we're looking at. November 16th.
Some news.
Yeah, so everybody can look forward to that. And now I've got a couple more pokers in the fire. You know, I've got that other guy I'm gonna reach out to. He's already said yeah. It's Marshall.
Just start with
Yeah, it's Marshall McMinn's. He's with Order by Chaos, local band. You know, they played with opened up for Chimera and Slayer on Halloween night over at Plush when Plush was or it was called the Edge, and probably I'm not sure what it's even a thing now, but when I seen those guys, it was like, yeah, man, I know Marshall personally. Great guy. Very, very funny, first of all. And he works in AC, so
boys.
yeah, he works in AC, Dave. So I'm pretty sure you've met Marshall. If you were to see him, he's like,
I
oh,
know that dude.
you know
I've known him
Marshall?
for
Oh,
years.
you know Marshall? Yeah, he's a good dude. Real good dude, man. I have nothing but great things to say about Marshall. He's helped me with the barbecue gig before. Just to come out and just like to serve the food or whatnot when we were doing the competitions and shit, man. And nothing but respect for that guy. So he said he'd come on and he definitely chit chat with us and, you know, come on the show. And there is another cat I'm going to work on. He's my very good personal friend named Reggie Youngblood. I know he'll come on as we talked about it. And he's with the band called Black Kids. Not so much metal, so much you would say, but he's local kid. Went to high school with him, and where he where he debuted on the Billboard, but I know he was in Rolling Stone's top five bands to look out for, and I forgot what year it was. And he was in Rolling Stone magazine. I've watched him on, I think, Letterman and a few of those shows, and they were touring around. And they're yeah, I think they were big across seas. but he's a great
You
kid
said
too. And yeah,
Black Kids, kind of thing?
yeah, Black Kids. And they sound like the 80s, like any 80s pop rock band, man. And I say pop rock, but it's like, if you knew Reggie, like Reggie's origins are like Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera, man. We talk at high school, man, and we talk about Pantera, man. And he had this thing was like, remember when Metallica had like the contest? If you pick the trailer, the truck or whatever, and they drive to whatever city, they open the back of the trailer, and if Metallica was there, you get to hang with Metallica for the day.
I do remember that. Wow.
MTV was doing that thing, and we were like, man, it'd be cool if like one of us got him. We are talking. He's like, what if the guy was saying like, and this is Reggie talking, like, what if like the guy was to ask him, what's the name of that song again? And he's like, it's called Call the Calucha, you dork, or something like that. He was like, pretend like he was Metallica or whatever, and ripping on guys and whatever. But he's a good guy, man. He's taking me to church up at First Baptist downtown, man. And I remember we were at the auditorium, and they just happened to be featuring one of the sermons, man. I'll never forget this. Uh, Far Beyond Driven's album, Pantera, and this is inside First Baptist downtown, and they were looking at the lyrics of the song, and it was strength beyond, the one of the songs was strength beyond strength, and they were it was slaughtered. And the back end of the song was like, it says, do sin. And they're playing that song. I remember, I'm like, and Red Jones was like, oh man, help, I'm like, help it, you know? And I thought it was a very funny moment. But he liked Pantera, so he's got some really great metal roots inside of him, man. Very good kid. And and I'm waiting to hear back from Amon Amar. So we're definitely that's a waiting game right there. So I'm gonna hit them up again. And got a couple more pokers on fire there, Dave. A little bit, that's just a fun for you, So
That'd be a big.
yeah.
Okay.
But definitely,
And
man.
dare I say, if you get to that level, maybe, just maybe, you get one with Jay.
With who?
James Hetfield.
I think it's hard to get those guys, man. I think.
I'm sure it was Steven, but persistence.
Oh no,
and
I've been looking up ways to go about how to reach these guys and this and that. It's very tough, but hey man, persistence.
I'm sure.
Persistence is a thing, So I got King
because even though you think, oh, it's going to be really hard, but that thing about persistence, you do it 5, 6, 7 times, you're reaching out to the same person, and at some point they actually hear, hey, I heard that they're doing a little something. They only want me on for 10 minutes. Let's see what happens. And the next thing you know, like David said, you got them on.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. But congratulations
to
the both of you on the show.
Absolutely.
So can't wait for the 16th. This is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Yeah.
I will be listening. So, in your opinion, Steve, if I were to buy a King Parrot record, which one?
Dude, that's so tough right now because they're all really good. But I like Shit on the Liver. It's between three of them. It's Shit on the Liver, Piss Wreck, or a young person's guide to King Parrot, which is the one I have. And Shit on the Liver is really hard to get hold of right now. I go to House for Records. It's sold out. But the new album is very, very good. That's the one where it has Fuck You and the horse she rode in on, which is the song they ended on with the tour, the Pantera. But yeah, you can't.
I remember them singing that. I'm like, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. So you can't go with it, man. They're all really, really good, man.
I'm gonna get one and listen.
Yeah, man, do it. Sit down, and like I said, I just put it on I load up YouTube while I'm at work, man. 3:00 hits, boom, start doing my rounds. Let it rip, My patients are sleeping, and I'm going in doing my thing and doing what I got to do. And they don't say anything. I'm like, I'm saying to them, I'm pretty sure they can hear me, but I really can't, But, it makes the night go by quick doing a night shift, so.
That it does.
Yeah.
That it does.
Yeah, man. So, we'll November 16th, we'll get the King on here. Like I said, we'll get and we'll
And we're going to be on, is it 7 or 8?
It's going to be 7 o'clock his time, so it'll be 10 o'clock in the morning our time. So whenever we put it out, it'll be whenever Jose mixes it and you know does everything, makes it look nice and tight.
Looks
Yeah,
good.
because this one I'll clean up a little bit probably first thing tomorrow morning.
That's
And that one I'm gonna as soon as possible I'll try to turn that one around for you.
Yeah, yeah. Because this one, I guess, Jose, you'll walk me through a couple things once we're off, and we'll get it all. We'll get to YouTube. We'll get it to upload to Facebook. We'll get it, wherever we can get it to, get her name out there, and boom, where everybody can see it. I put it out on Twitter, everything, so people can see this thing. So it's good things, man. Let's keep it up and let's keep it
It's
rolling.
exciting, Steve. It's exciting.
Yeah,
It is.
for sure.
Yeah, I've never done anything like this in my life. So, thanks for inviting me.
This is my second one. I used to do a sports one, and it's like, man, there's not a whole lot of people talk about down here in the South. Because I like Big Ten in football, but so that's it. This is my first one for music, but I think it's gonna go pretty well. See now we actually have an idea what we're talking.
Yeah.
So,
I was just trying to figure out, should I put your logo up there or should I put my logo up there?
the logo, the metal.
There
Yeah,
you go.
What is your logo?
Oh, mine
Did you just
looks,
ask him?
mine actually looks more like a bullseye,
Oh,
and it says "My Brother's Keeper" on there.
okay.
And we had set up all the stuff for a podcast. Unfortunately, because of timing and the three people that were involved, one of them's a police officer, one of them's a firefighter, and then you have me in the middle. And I was like, I think the only one who had dedicated time at one portion of the day because they were always just,
That'd be
now
hard.
I'm working. Yeah. So I had, I retired back in November and then I went back to work recently. So now I'm working a night shift, but it's 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So I have a lot of daytime versus nighttime, right? And then they're still spread all over the place because sometimes they're working 2 on, 3 off, and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm 7 P to 7 A.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Steve, right?
Right. Same boat. But Dan, if you want want to see some of their videos, man, for King Pit, it's another one that's I think it's kind of funny. It's 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. Check that one out. And that one's going to kind of throw you for a loop, or again, the fuck you and the horse you rode in on, piss wreck, You'll get a great kick out of those, man. I totally dig it, man. So, but man, let's wrap it up and we'll get it going. We'll get everything taken care of, and we'll see everybody again 16th.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, now.
Martinez
See
out.
you, brother.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye.